Well, good evening, everybody. Today is March the 10th, 2019. So we are rolling on into March, 10 days. A third of the month is gone with the wind. And so I decided tonight would be a great time to talk about getting in your red jacket. But before I do, I want to talk to you a little bit about what's coming up on March the 15th. That is the last day for the star quarter. And it started in December the 16th, which seems like 400 years ago. Doesn't Christmas seem like a long time ago to y'all? For me, it does. And so we've had a long time to become a star. So I know all boss babes are going to be star consultants because that is a minimum of $600 a month, which that's a key winner, right? And if you think about it and you really break it down, it's only selling $300 a week and taking a profit. And so some of you are brand new and you thought about starting with an 1800. And if you didn't, maybe you just started with a 600. Maybe you got your taxes back. This would be a good time to invest in your business and be a star your very first quarter. Because one thing about it, you can only say that one time, is that I've never missed a star. The whole time I've been in Mary Kay, I've never missed a star. So if you're brand new, this is the quarter. This is your first quarter. It counts. So you might want to look and invest it in your business. I know when I started years ago, I only started with a $600 order. Now, this is 30-something years ago. And even then, it was not enough for the activity. And I had a full-time job, but I wanted to do my perfect start, which was book 8 parties and hold 5 in my first 2 weeks. And so my first week, I sold $400. And that was with one of the parties was only $23.50. And so even then, selling 400, I realized I did not have enough product. My personality, I hated not to tell people that I didn't have it. I just couldn't really stand it. So I went back and did a $2,400 order the second month I was in Mary Kay. And of course, I missed out on some of the prizes. Now, the great thing about you guys is if you're new and you've already ordered and you come back and do a star, you still get 3 bundles. And every 600 you hit, you get another bundle free, which is $110, which is pretty awesome. The other thing is, if you're going for the cruise, you got to do 3,600 anyway, so you can go ahead and get that knocked out, that part of the cruise. And as you recruit people, a lot of times they're going to ask you, what does this star consultant mean? Are you a star? Did you start with a star? I mean, they're going to ask you, and a lot of times people will do what you do. So if you're recruiting people and they see that you are a star consultant, then they're going to see that they're going to do what you do a lot of times. However, the opposite worlds too. So let's say you're recruiting a lot of people, but you're not a star, and they're going to say, well, maybe that's not that important. So let's talk about, what does a star mean? First of all, a star consultant is anyone that orders 1,800 or more in the quarter. And then with every qualified team member, it bumps you up 600 points. So you start out yourself with a Sapphire Star. That is a Sapphire, that's 1,800. And then with each new recruit you get that comes in or does 600 in that quarter, then that bumps you up 600 points. I know there's some women in my unit that have 2 qualified. And if they're a star, that would make them a diamond star. They have to do the 1,800 themselves, though. So if you've recruited anybody who has done a 6, you want to make sure you're a star so you can count that. So you get a beautiful prize from the company. Anything from star consultant, from vouchers for MK Connections to luggage to jewelry to things for your home. There's all kind of things on that star consultant brochure. And I'm sure your director has posted it on your Facebook page, or it's under contest under Mary Kay, and you can see it's called third quarter prizes. And so that is awesome. The other thing is you get priority registration for seminar. Seminar is the next thing that's coming up after career conference. It is in Dallas, Texas in July, and it's normally going to be $225 to go to career conference. To go to seminar. That's registration. But if you are a star, you get to go for $195, and you get priority registration, which means you get to register before anybody else. So that's another reason to be a star. Another one, of course, is you get your ladder pin. It has the number on it. You're recognized at career conference if you decided to go, with how many quarters that you've been in. And the fact is that stars win cars. And once you start recruiting and you get at least 5 people on your team, to get a 13% commission check, you have to do a 600 in that month. So by doing the keys, by doing 600 every month, you're always a star. And, you know, I can tell you this from a point of that I have been a star consultant, I think 117 quarters. Now that's a lot of quarters of star. That's a lot of prizes. It's 117 prizes. So, you know, the thing about it is if I didn't believe in the star program, I know that, you know, I couldn't sit here and tell you about it. But there is time. There's 4 days left. I mean, 5 days left, really, when you think about it. You know, to start tomorrow, you got the 10th, the 11th through the 15th. And so there's a lot you can do in those times. So look and see how much you have in, see how much you need, and what you could do. Could you hold a party? Could you hold 2 or 3 parties? Could you, because, you know, the time that I was doing all those parties last month, I mean, even some of the parties weren't great, but I still sold, you know, well over $1,000, you know, in just a few days by doing parties. That's going to net you more money than just doing individual facials. Okay, the other thing you could do is you could do a little special this week. Now, I don't want you to do 50% off because you guys, we're in this to make money. And honestly, you know, I just wouldn't do my stuff at 50% off. That's why they need to become a consultant, right? But you could do a little special, like if they bought a mascara, you know, you could do BOGO, like buy one mascara, get the second one maybe at half price, which is like 25% off if you do it like that. Or you could, you know, maybe do a thing where you are saying, you know, I'm going for a star and my goal is to sell whatever, 25 charcoal masks. Okay. And then that's $600 in orders right there. 25 charcoal masks. And then when I meet my goal, I'm going to draw and one person will get their mask free. I mean, you could come up with different things. There's lots of different ways to sell products. And so just put it out there. You may put a picture of what you're going for. People like to help people who are trying to win something. They really do. And so don't give up. Talk to your director about getting a strategy to be a star. And, you know, most of you guys have meetings tomorrow or Tuesday. You could bring someone to the meeting and you could have them you can invite some guests to come, and hey, you could leave that meeting with $300 or $400. Some of you are getting your tax money back. That would be a great way to do an investment. I mean, where else can you make 50% of what you invest, right? So look at what you've got in. If you have no clue what I'm talking about, reach out to your director and say, how much do I have in and what do I need? And get it, you guys get it done. Get it done by the 15th, okay? Stars win cars, all right? Okay, so enough about stars. I think y'all got it. Allison Carter, she's the director on our Boss Babe group. She attended an event this weekend, and she shared some things with me, and she shared some things with her unit. So I know if you're in her unit, you may hear this twice, but that's okay. If you're like me, you need to hear it more than once. So I want to encourage you at this point to get your pen and get your paper out, because you don't want to trust your future to your memory. And the older you get, you'll understand that better. Don't trust your vision to your memory or your future to your memory. You want to write some notes down so you can go back and look at it. Because I've been to so many different things. I'm like, that was so great. And they're like, what was it about? You're like, I don't know, but it was so great. But if you have some notes, you can go back and review and actually put some of this stuff into action this week. Okay? So I'm going to introduce Allison and then unmute her and bring her on here. But Allison and I have been friends for a long, long time. I met her, I believe, I met her at a director's meeting in Jacksonville, Florida. She came in, she was tall and gorgeous, and she came in and there was a Cadillac table, and we all sat at the Cadillac table, and she said, who's sitting there? And I said, you are. And so she sat down by me, and we have been friends ever since. And I just love her. She's somebody that she pumps me up, you know, and we pump each other up. She's my power partner. I talk to her just about every single day. And if not, something's wrong with one of the other of us. And she makes me laugh, but she's so professional, and she's a go-getter, and she's a powerful player in the Mary Kay game. And so I respect her as well. And of course, she's one of the top director trip with me. One of my best trips I had was when her and Chris were there with me and Brad in Rome. We just had a ball together. And so I want you to hear from her. She is a master at recruiting and building reds. So let me unmute you, my friend. And I'm going to, where are you, girlie? Oh, I'm chatting with her instead. Allison, can you unmute yourself?
Okay. Can you hear me?
There she is.
I'm on twice so that I can see you on the computer, but I'm on my phone. Can you hear me okay?
Yep. I'm going to mute myself out so you can have full screen
Okay. All right. Awesome. Well, I love seeing all your faces. I'm cheating because I can see everybody over here. So I see all my divas that showed up today. I'm excited. And you are all probably going to hear this twice, but I think it's worth listening to, and it's definitely worth writing down. So please, because right here is the formula of how to earn the cruise. And so with the remaining 16 weeks. And so I want to make sure that you have the numbers so that you know exactly how to do this. The first thing I want to tell you, wait, let me flip back to the front here. Okay, so I was at an event with Tammy Craig, and this is the first time I've really ever heard Tammy live. I've just in 14 years never really crossed paths with her, and I know she's a powerhouse, and I've admired her on Facebook, and to have her in Orlando at our director meeting was really awesome, and Red Jackets were allowed to go to this particular meeting, which isn't always the case. And so anytime the door swings open for Reds to be able to go to something like that, you just really can't afford to miss it. And so before I tell you about the cruise and getting into Red, what I want to really say is that the Boss Babes call is designed for leaders. It's designed for Red Jackets. To me, you should be in a Red Jacket if you're committed to being on the Boss Babes call, every call. Because it's not a just call in and listen type of call. It's a I want to be a leader. I want more out of what this is for. You know, you've got top directors, car driving directors, sales directors on this call. These are all the top 2% of the company and higher that are going to give you some great tips and tools on how to work this business the way they did that work well for others. And our expectation is that you'll implement these things so that you can elevate yourself at least to the first level of management, which is where you're going to make more money. The company just gave a pay raise for Red Jackets. So it's really silly not to have 3 active people on your team. And this month, the company is basically giving it to you and giving people the permission to recruit quickly because they're giving the discount. So for those of you that are brand new or are in your Great Start Qualified program still, you have so much to gain by team building right now. So much free product, bonuses. And if you're new in March, I mean, it's like quickly give those 3 vouchers away for $75 because it's going to bless somebody. And it really is. It's fun. It's fun to have excited team members. Just think about how excited you were. Having team members that are like that, it just gets better and better when you can see your team's excited. You know, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm even more excited now because she's excited. And so the first thing I want to tell you is that Tammy started off by talking about emotional management. When you go to build your team, you're holding more classes, you're holding more facials, you're asking more people, you're going to obviously get told no more. And so it's that emotional management of not making it a personal rejection. I don't take it personal when people tell me no. I honestly don't understand it. When people tell me no, I'm like, are you sure? I mean, seriously, because I don't feel like they know enough. And so I'll say, okay, well, how about this? How about just not right now? Okay. Because I feel like once she gets to know more, or she really starts paying closer attention to who I am on Facebook, she'll want more of what I have. Okay. And I'm not going to get into how you do all that with social media, but I'm just saying, live a life that people want to live. You know what I mean? Be positive. Have high emotional IQ. Okay. Because then this business doesn't seem so challenging when you don't allow yourself to get so racked up about people telling you no, or postponements or cancellations or whatever the case may be. You're going to experience more of them because you're going to be doing more work. Okay. The next thing is, she said that we're all human magnets. And I kind of was like, what does that mean? And she said, well, you're going to draw to you. You're going to attract something to you. The cool thing is that you have the choice of who you attract. And so, have you ever known somebody who has like a cousin? Everybody has that one cousin in their family that just has trouble. It's like, oh, so-and-so in your family, right? Makes bad choices. And guess who they hang around? They're dating someone who makes bad choices. They're dating someone just as broke as they are. They don't have any opportunity, and it's just like the world is against them. And you rarely see someone who's a hot mess with someone who's very sophisticated and makes good choices, right? And so because we have the choice of how we walk our walk, we will attract people to you. I mean, think about, who do you think I attract when I go out into public? You know what I mean? Like, it's by choice, the way you dress, the way you do your hair, your jewelry, your haircut, who you are. You know, do you talk differently when you're in your yoga pants versus when you're walking in your director suit or you're walking in your red jacket? Of course you do. So it's setting yourself up to win every day. Get up the extra minute to do your hair better. Get up a little extra early to make sure your makeup is on at work. I see some people at work sometimes and I'm shocked because they look totally different at the unit meeting. They come to the unit meeting, boom, they look like a Mary Kay consultant. I go to their job, they look like, I'm like, hey girl, you all right? You know? And so who do you attract when you look like that? You know what I'm saying? And so you can already set yourself in an advantage by being ready. Okay. So you're going to attract, that was her big thing, was like, you're a magnet, you're going to attract people to you. So if you're always attracting people to you that ain't got none, can't get none, da, 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 you know, think about who are you talking to? How are you talking to them? You know what I mean? Just those kinds of quick, easy fixes that you can make. Okay. The other thing is that she said, forget about booking. And boy, that really sparked my attention because I was like, yes, let's forget about booking. But what she meant was just ask. I want you to ask 100 people about the Mary Kay product. Have you ever tried the product? Would you be open to giving me your opinion about the product? You know, and then you ultimately book her. But it was, for some reason, there's like this negative vibe around booking. So she said, get rid of the terminology booking and just ask people. Just start asking people. So, and she challenged us to ask people in the next 48 hours, 100 people in the next 48 hours. And I'm telling you, I was like, I didn't hit the goal. I mean, I haven't worked like that in a long time. And so I want to challenge you as a boss babe to ask 100 people before the next boss babes call. And that's a challenge I'm going to take on with you. 100 people to ask. And she was talking about, she said, I don't mean text blasting out 100 people. I don't mean, I mean, talk to people, relationships, get in touch with somebody one-on-one and ask them, would you be willing to give me, you know what happened? Here's what happened. I had about 30 seconds of insane courage, and I looked through my Facebook page and some people that I know that I went to high school with that have been very successful in life, and we really haven't talked much, but I just sent them a message and said, hey girl, I'm in a challenge to reach out to 100 women, and I want to be the first one in my unit to complete it, and I need some of my boss babe girlfriends to help me out. Would you be willing to try some samples of the product and tell me? She was like, absolutely. I mean, they all responded with yes. And then we started chatting, and she was like, it's so good to see that you're doing well in Mary Kay. It's really positive to see, success stories. And she was very successful because I reached out to the women that I knew were successful. And because to me, it's a better chance of things going well, right off the bat. All right. So don't be intimidated to reach out to people you haven't talked to, because you just never know where that's going to lead. Okay. All right. So she said, I dare you to ask 100 people. So I dare you to ask 100 people before the next Boss Babes call and see what happens. I bet you'll have a lot of praise reports. Okay. The other thing I found was interesting was that she said most people on average have 80 hours a week that are unaccounted for. She said, if you got your weekly plan sheet out and really looked at every single hour, what were you doing? You either wouldn't jot it down because you were too embarrassed to say, or you honestly don't remember what you were doing. And she said 80 hours of unaccounted time is what the average person has. And so you have time to do this business and be a mom and work a full-time job and still do the things that you do every day. You just have to manage your time better and be more intentional. Okay. So she gave me a little formula about the cruise, but I want to talk to you first about red, because the first move you make is to get into red. I mean, certainly, 3 people. And this is a little bit of an overlap of what I told my team yesterday, but I really feel like You know, one of the things that Tammy said too was, let's start out by thinking about your dream team. Who would that be? What does your dream team look like? I think too many times we wait for that girl to say, I want to do Mary Kay. We try to live our life in a way that people go, I want what she has. And we wait for her to instant message us or call us or buy something. And we have to go after it. Your promotion is right in front of you. All you have to do is take it. Now, some of you have been taking it. I've been watching Veronica, some of these girls, you know, boom, 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 boom. That is exciting. That's exactly what the directors on this call did. Nobody told me I had to learn everything before I got into a red jacket. I got into a red jacket first because I figured, you know what? I will learn making red jacket money instead of consultant money. Give me the 13% and then I'll figure it out from there. Okay. And that's what I did. I actually went and became a director before I really knew what I was doing, because I figured if I'm going to slow down and try to learn this business, I want to be making director commission. Okay. And I want my free car. I don't want a car payment. And so, you know, telling yourself that you have to learn everything or know everything, or you're afraid that you're not going to be able to train your people correctly, is really just one of those lies that you tell yourself to make it okay. And it really isn't okay, because there are lots of people out there waiting to hear from you and waiting to be invited and waiting for you to ask. I mean, honestly, really. And so, you know, the red jacket position, in my opinion, is where everybody should be on this call. Red or higher. And if you're brand new, boom, get into your red jacket by next week. I mean, it really is that simple. We need to stop overthinking it. I heard somewhere on a call or somewhere, somebody, it was, I think it was when I was up in Valdosta, somebody was talking about doing a power start, and it was like 30 faces. And somebody made the comment like, oh, and I thought, 30 faces, that's the very minimum. I mean, 30 faces is not a big deal. We have been talking about the power start forever in Mary Kay. Mary Kay wanted you to book 10 to hold 8 your first week as a beauty consultant. We've got to stop watering down how to win in Mary Kay and just be willing to do the work. Let's not avoid the white elephant in the room, which is the work that it's going to take that you all signed up to do. And so we're just going to be excited about it because it brings results. And those results you can get excited about. It feels good when you finish your star. It feels good when you walk across stage at career conference, when you're picking up that prize, or when you're being recognized at the luncheon, or when you're sitting real close to your director because the two of you earned something together. You know, and it's, you know, for those of you that have earned the luncheon and tracked yourself and are going to have a lot of places to win at career conference, I applaud you. For those of you that still have some catching up to do you know that you still have time to get into the emerging leaders training for career conference? Career conference is happening in 2 weeks or whatever it is. Yeah. Like, you know, in about 19 days. And is it that many days? Yeah. Like 19 days. And you have plenty of time to get into red. It's asking enough people. It's figuring it out. Now, here's what I want to tell you. The first thing you have to do is decide that you're going to do it. You've got to decide you're going to be excited about it, whatever goal it is. You know, when it is very hard to tell me no when I'm excited about something. Okay. Then I really question people. But when you're really excited about something, people will say yes to you more often. So you have to decide before you earn it that you're going to be excited about being in red for your career conference. Okay. And then people will believe you. And then people will want to know more about what you're so excited about. Okay. But when you wait to see if you can get excited, to see if she's going to say yes, and you know, you're playing safe, and you've got to be all in no matter what, because guess what? 18-year-olds are getting into red jackets by career conference. I mean, seriously, I told my consultants, I'm like, if you can figure out how to have a baby and keep the baby living and fed and clean, and you've learned how to operate on less sleep, you've figured out how to rearrange your schedule, you've figured out how to operate with less finances, you've figured out how to manage your other children and still be married, you've figured out how to, you know, cook dinner still and do all the things and still make it to work on time, you certainly can ask 3 people about a job that you love, enough to be on a call every week, enough to learn to be in the space of leaders. If you enjoy Mary Kay that much to want to learn the way you are committed to, certainly you want to do it at the level where you're making the most money, right? And so your red jacket is literally waiting for you. And I suggest, if you've never been in red, that you get in red quickly. First of all, oh my gosh, I'm getting fired up. You not being in red is stopping somebody from being on the cruise. If you've never been in red before, you not being in red is hurting somebody's cruise team. So to be a team player, just get into red so that you can be on that person's cruise team. If you've been a red before, get back in red. I mean, come on, let's go. You did it once, you can do it again. Get into red, set the pace. This whole Boss Babes window should be filled with red jackets, period, end of story, because you're saying that you're a leader by even calling in. Okay, so do it. So show me that you're the leader. Okay, I think I said to my girls, like, how many team members do you have? How many? Okay, not enough. Right? You need more. And so, and I'm not talking about the wimpy red where you got 3 and one's barely hanging on. I'm saying go get 5, 8, 10 team members, but it starts with 3, because then we can celebrate you and get excited and you can get yourself to the career conference lunch. Okay. The career conference training, which is where you want to be, because they're going to train the best people in the company are going to train you, and you're going to have leadership training over the top. Okay. Because you're going to be around the people that have gone before you. Okay, so let's go back to the type of woman that you want to talk to. This is so important, you guys, because think about your dream team. What kind of level of integrity does she have? How does she dress? What does her hair look like? What kind of earrings does she wear? Is she trendy? Does she have great jewelry? Does she have integrity? Does she have a house you admire? Does she have a healthy, mature, established relationship with friends? Does she have a good marriage? Does she have a career that you would admire or enjoy? Does she have good money management? Does she have the success that you would appreciate? These are women that you want to have on your team. These are not the women to wait around and hope maybe you could sell her something, and then these are still women to ask. Okay, here's something that happened to me yesterday. I was getting ready and I had this vision of me at a mall, warm chatting. Okay, and this is just my story. This is just what I was thinking about. And I saw this woman. Now, when I look for sharp women, I look at the way they walk, because when women are walking around and they're and they got their, they're dragging their feet, I'm just not interested. It's not that they just don't catch my attention. Like, where's she going? I'm not trying to follow her if she can barely keep her flip-flops on. Okay. I'm talking about the women whose head is up. She's sharp. She's walking somewhere. She's got a couple of designer bags on her. She's holding already. She's got designer bags because she's gotten her shopping done. And I'm like, oh, where's she going? Right. And so, in my vision, I stopped this girl. She was a woman, and I stopped her and I said, excuse me, I just couldn't help but notice you. I just wanted to compliment you. You look so sharp. And this is what she said. In my vision, this is what she said. Oh, I'm the mayor's wife. Okay. And I said, oh, now this is what I said. In my thought, without any hesitation, I thought, really, I do something just as important. That was my response. I do something just as important. I'm a Mary Kay beauty consultant. Now, here's what my very next thought was. I have consultants who would go, oh, you're the mayor's wife? Oh, wow. And shrink back and then say, not offer her Mary Kay or not establish yourself at the same level. And because of the value that you have on being the mayor's wife versus the value that you have on your Mary Kay business. Okay. And so I think, and this could go in terms of meeting a doctor, meeting a nurse, meeting a lawyer, meeting an interior designer, meeting somebody that works at the school board, whatever you value as the form of career. Okay. Do you value your Mary Kay business as much? And in my vision, I did. My first reaction was, I do something just as important. I'm a Mary Kay consultant. But I thought in my mind, people aren't saying that. People are going, oh, wow, that must be really incredible. That's awesome. And then they'll come back to the unit meeting and tell the story about how they met this really sharp woman, but for whatever reason, because you didn't value your business the same, the warm chat didn't go through because you didn't value what you have to offer with your business. Okay. And what I want to tell you is this. I was, well, probably not this sharp when I was before Mary Kay, but like I was still a career-minded woman, and I was miserable. And had somebody not asked me, I probably would still be trying to figure that world out. Okay. And so I just want to encourage you to set the bar and believe in the business. And it doesn't necessarily mean what you've accomplished yet. When my recruiter recruited me, she was 19 and she was earning her car. She didn't have any super duper accolades. She was just earning her car. She was in a red jacket. And so I knew that was the first level of management. So I knew that she had accomplished something, but she hadn't earned her car before she told me about it. She was earning her car, and she enlisted me in that. And so I was excited to help her earn her car by me signing up. Does that help you? How can I help you? And so I was tracking her car with her, and I would say, how close are you? Do you need me to order any more? I wanted to be an active participant in her winning team. Okay. And so team building didn't help her earn the car, but my orders did. So I sold more and I worked harder so that I could be part of what she was doing. Does that make sense? Your team wants to do the same thing for you. And there are women you haven't asked yet that want to be a part of your winning team, but you have to decide what your goal is. What are you excited about? Is it the cruise? Is it your red jacket? Is it, what is it? Because in my opinion, boss babes should be in red. If you're going to sit, like I like to say, on your nest, then do that at the team leader position where you're making 9 or 13%. Okay, let's just agree. If you're gonna sit and wait at team leader, because why would you make 4% when you could be making 13%? Because you did come in to make money, I'm guessing, a little bit anyway, right? Yes, and to change lives. So boom, you just changed 5 people's lives. Release those people to your sales director and let your director decide, and let those people have a relationship with your director as to what they're going to do with the business. Does that sound fair? Yeah. Okay. All right. Perfect. Sharply dressed. And she said, talk to her at the level of her sharpness. So that's where sometimes I think we get caught up, because we're not, we're lowering the bar. And when you lower the bar, those people are going to lower it even more on you, because they're going to talk to people that they feel more confident than. So when you're lowering, we don't want to do that. We want to keep it elevated like this. If you want to do social work, and trust me, that's what I did. I did social work prior to Mary Kay and before banking. I did 10 years of social work. I know what that life looks like. You better have your power team in place so that you all can, have time to do social work, because social work is very time consuming. Okay. And it's a lot, it takes a lot out of you. Okay. And so if your team, you don't want to build a team like that. You want to build a power team, and then have your power team in the where you've duplicated yourself 5 or 8 or 10 times. And then all of those people can outreach here and there. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. Okay. So let's talk about the formula that she talked about wrapping up the cruise. First of all, you've agreed to get into red because you're going to help your senior consultant out, right? Yes. Everybody shake your head. Yes, you're going to get into red. If you're not in red, you're going to get into red because it's going to help somebody else, okay? And you want to do that. You want to be part of your winning team. This is what I want you to write down. She said you're 36 parties away from the cruise, okay? Now, she said, even if you are a brand new beauty consultant, you don't know what you're doing. So let's just hypothetically say that you really are really bad. She said, now nobody's really bad because you have a flip chart, but let's just say you're really bad. She goes, the really bad consultant can earn a cruise with this formula. Here it is, 36 parties. And if you're in the company average at a party of 5 people, targeted market, sharp women who care about what they look like. Okay, not your girl, not her. We love her and she desperately needs a makeover. But right now we're focusing on the cruise and women with options so that we can get there faster. Yes? Okay, we'll go back and scoop those people up later. We're like, we earned a cruise, yay! And then you can go do as much social work as you want. Right now, we're going to be super intentional with our time. We've just gotten our 3 team members. We're so excited. We asked 3 people and they said yes because I was excited, and now I'm red and I'm a winning participant on somebody else's team. And so I've got a new sense of confidence, and now I'm going to earn a cruise because I'm believing in myself. Okay, that's how that's going to play out. 36 parties on average is $300 per party, but we're just going to say you're real bad, so it's $200 per party, which never happens, but let's just say it does. That's $7,200 retail. That's a $3,600 order and $3,600 in your pocket. Thank you. And if you are new and your Great Start promo, you've just earned a lot of extra product. Okay. All right. 5 people at a party times 36 parties is 180 faces. Now, this is through the end of June. This isn't, anything crazy like do this month. This is the end of June timeframe. If you asked 180 faces to listen to the Mary Kay opportunity, if 60 of them agreed, 60 people agreed just to listen, that's 12 new team members. Now, could you get excited about 12 new team members? If I put you in a room of 180 people and said there are 12 sharp women, all sharply dressed, who care about what they look like, 12 of them in here want to be on your team, you just have to go figure it out. Would you not have a problem asking all 180? You wouldn't have to drink wine. You wouldn't have a complex about it. You'd be getting through it very quickly, right? Yes. You'd be like, you? Okay, yes. Oh, no? Oh, okay, it wasn't her. But because mathematically we know those are the numbers. 12 out of that 180 are going to say yes. Okay. Now, 6 of them, certainly you can get them to come in qualified. Sharp women who care about what they look like, type of women. Okay. 600 is not a problem. Women who have credit. There's a concept. Women who have credit. Women who have lived a life in such a way that they've got room on a credit card, or they've got a way of managing their money where they can move things around and come and do a 600. Now, I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings. If you didn't have 600, please hear my heart. If you don't have $600 right now, you can still choose someone who does and make this business a little bit easier on yourself and start getting out of a circle and getting around people who have more money and learning how they think, and you'll manage your money differently. I've earned more money because Cleta earned more money. I mean, it's just a fact. You start hanging around the big girls, you're like, darn, I got to have more parties because they can afford stuff I can't afford. And so you start working your business differently. Okay, I'm just saying, if every week you're in the back row at the meeting sitting next to the girl who didn't sell anything, get away from her, and get up closer to the red jackets and get up closer to your director and figure out, I got to do this business differently, because there's no reason why you guys shouldn't have money in your pocket and team members on your team, period. There just really isn't. Okay, and then 3 of those out of the 6 you can make red. So in the process, but guess where it all starts? It all starts with your commitment and your 36 parties. You could do Super Saturdays. Kristen Sharp just did 50 faces in one day. Okay, this was on the call that she did. 50 faces in one day, and she did it so that it would basically shut everybody up, saying that I can't do it, blah, 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 I'm too busy. Let me tell you something about too busy. Tammy Craig said this, and I thought, people need to hear that. She said, the CAR program, the consultant CAR program, was designed for full-time working moms to be able to earn a CAR. And that's why it's set up the way it is, so that you can earn a CAR while working full-time, and then you can remove that payment from your household because you've earned a CAR. It was with the working mom in mind. So when you say, I'm just so busy, you have sold yourself on the idea that your life has, you've got too much going on. And some of you may have too much going on because you say yes too much. But you've got to learn how to prioritize the things that are non-negotiable, and then get rid of the things temporarily that you don't need to be working. And some of your non-negotiables, honestly, are probably negotiable, but you've made them non-negotiable because you like doing them. But some of them can go away for a little while. It's just temporary, so that you can get yourself in a groove where you can move and groove, right? There's no reason why you're missing red jacket meetings. There's no reason why you're missing that close coaching with your director. There's no reason why, it's just a matter of time management, emotional management, and getting the job done. That's it. And everybody on this call is capable of it. The girl that can't even make the commitment to the Boss Babes call, She's probably not ready. She's probably not ready. But if you can manage your life enough and the kids and animals enough and your job and your husband, your family, your significant other enough that you can get on a call on Sunday at 9 every Sunday. And guess what, boss babes? It was daylight savings time and y'all managed that and you still figured out it's not really 8 o'clock, it's 9 o'clock. And y'all got on the call. You can manage getting 3 people on your team and being excited next week. Next week, I want y'all to wear your red jackets on the thing. I want you to wear your red jacket. And if you earn your red jacket, and you don't have your red jacket yet, wear something red. We want to see who the real boss babes are. I am serious. I want to see it. Y'all are hiding with your little nightgowns and your little, I see you, but I want to see your red jacket and be like, watch out. Okay, I'm a boss babe. I'm serious. Get into it. You've got a week. You've got 7 days to ask 3 people. Now, we know you're going to have to ask more people than that. But what I'm telling you is that you're going to be asking 100 people anyway. Here's what you're going to figure out. You're going to figure out about your body language. You're going to figure out about your excitement level. You're going to figure out about I had somebody say to me when I first started Mary Kay, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" And they're like, "Because you look angry." I had like resting bitch face. Okay, I guess I did. I mean, I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't have said that, but I did. And so I started catching myself like I used to, and so I started to I would catch myself and I would be like, oh, I gotta stand tall. What do I do with my hands? I didn't know what to do with my hands since I was always doing this. And I had to learn about my body language, what I was giving off, like, you want to have a facial? No, I don't, because I'm afraid of you, And so it's figuring out how to be approachable. And when you're asking 100 people, you'll have learned a lot about yourself by doing that. You'll learn about if you're really afraid, you'll learn about where you are confident, what you do well and what you don't do well. And those are all things that you'll need to learn, because guess what's going to happen? Your brand new team members this week are going to be saying, oh my gosh, and they're going to have all those same things going on, those same fears that you're dealing with now with your 100 asks. Okay. And so why don't you just knock it out and get it done so that you can really start getting over some of those things instead of replaying all of those things over and over and over again. Right? Does that make sense? Okay. And here's the thing I want to share with the directors on the call. Tammy said, directors, you've done it before. You have done it before. You did it quicker, faster, with more requirements when you were in DIQ. So she said, there's absolutely no excuse and she said, here's the key, directors. I want you to be thinking about, and this goes for the boss babes too, anybody that's in red now, that was really committed to getting into red and raced hard to red. She said, what were you thinking when you were in DIQ? What were you thinking? What were you saying? What were the words that were coming out of your mouth? Did you doubt that it was going to happen? Were you like, oh, I'm hoping to get through DIQ at the end of March? Or were you like, oh, girl, this is happening. I need to get with you. People canceled. We didn't even care. We were on to the next thing, because we had a deadline and it was going to happen. Well, you have a deadline. You have your career conference deadline to get yourself in red so that you can get to the emerging leaders training. And so it was like, okay. And you made it happen. It didn't look, here's what I want to tell you. I know I'm running over, but I have to say it. Okay. It is not going to be pretty. It is not going to be smooth, and there's no interruptions at your family dinner room table, and everybody's in its place, and you still get to soccer practice on time. And no, it is going to look crazy. It's going to be, we had directors talking about how much it was falling apart before it all came together. Okay. Anytime you're going to do something big, chaos is going to happen. Okay. But it's okay. It's temporary. And so you're running real hard for your goal. You can expect somebody's credit card doesn't go through. Okay, so what are we going to do? Well, can we go down and get the cash? No, we can't. Okay, oh, her husband decided he doesn't want her to do Mary Kay. Okay, so then you're over here doing this. And you've got to be willing to juggle all those things, because that doesn't ever go away. When we were earning our first trip, our first trip, right? That's good verbiage. Crazy things happened. Things that we were like, pivot because you just couldn't even give it any energy to try to figure out why that just happened. Okay, you're just like, pivot, let me come over here and work with this. Okay, then all of a sudden what you found is that seeds that you had planted 2-3 months ago start popping up. So don't give up on some of those people you warmed up in January when there was the January promotion, and now, you know, they missed the February deal, but now we got the free brush collection and the 3 certificates to give away for $75. You guys, there's so many things to be excited for in March, okay? And I dare to say that if you don't do it in March, I really just, I don't know, I'm gonna have to come shake you, because the company's giving it to you. They're giving it to you. And as a new beauty consultant, what an exciting time. You can single-handedly change the complexion of your unit by being the first one to get into red. Beat up some of these girls that have been sitting around like, go get into your red jacket so your director can be like, look at her, look at her, look at her. It'll stir up some of the old timers to get going again, because they don't want you to beat them. I don't want to be beat. I don't want somebody to pass me up. No way. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like, Cleta called me. She said, are you watching the top director box? I see it. She goes, all of our friends are earning their cruise. I'm like, I know, we got to do it. You know what I'm saying? So even at this level, there's still that healthy race to win. Okay. It's learning how to do that at every single level, healthy. Now, and this is the last thing I'm going to say. Your director is the most valuable to you when you are working. Okay. Because she's a worker. All right. She's a worker. She's an accomplished person. She has done it before. Anything that you're trying to do, she has done. Okay. And so I'm telling you that because all of the hypotheticals and the what ifs and the fantasies of, and it's okay to tell her your goal, but to over talk about it and there's no action is just talking about it. I'm talking about like when you are working and you are dealing with real life stuff that's happening, that is when your director is going to be the most valuable to you. That's when she's going to be able to give you so many gifts of experience, of champion thinking, of mindset, of how to get over things faster and how to celebrate the right way and things like that, because that's what she's waiting for. She's waiting for you to get busy so that she can help you with everything that she has. I'm telling you, because we have so much to offer, but we can't give it to you if you're not getting cancellations, if you're not getting no's, if you're not getting the yeses and the party that you're really excited about. Let me tell you, this business is worth doing. It's worth figuring out. It's worth, putting some of those fun things aside and getting where you want to be so that you can have the things that you've always wanted. And it starts with the decision and your first 3 team members. And that's where you'll see the birth of something amazing, because you'll have your team and you'll be excited because they're excited. So I'm cheering you on. I know you can do it. Your challenge is 100 asks by this time next week. And we're doing it next week, right, Cleta? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I want you to wear your red jackets or your red robe. I want you to talk to somebody. You know what? I stood up in the director meeting and I asked Tammy Craig something, and she said, first of all, we should be talking to women who look like you. And I took that as a compliment, but I'm telling you that because that's each and every one of you. Talk to somebody who's just as sharp as you are, and it can be intimidating, but wouldn't you want me on your team? Yes, this is where you shake your head. Yes, I know you would. I'd want you on my team. And so I want Cleta's on my team. I just told Cleta, I need me. I need me on my team, but I have the power to go find me. And you have the power to go find you or somebody even better, right? And so I just want to encourage you when you're asking, I hope you have an open eye to who you've been asking and who you are now asking, right? And be prepared with your emotional management to process with your director and be ready for all of the things that come with your activity. So mwah, I love you guys. I can't wait to see you in your red jackets next week. Yes? Okay.
Allison, that was off the chain good. I mean, I took 3 pages of notes here. So, I mean, you guys, I hope you're fired up because we've got like quality teachers on these calls. And so thank y'all for calling in. I know you guys are, if you're not in red, I know you're like, I'm doing it. This is ridiculous. You need to just go ahead and say that. Say, I'm doing it. This is ridiculous. Because all of you know 3 people. You know, here's the thing. People like Allison and I mean, when you've been in and the directors, we've recruited every cousin, mother, sister, brother, you know, but new people, you guys haven't even recruited anybody ever. It's an open field. Your Facebook friends are not even in Mary Kay. Like I have 5,000 friends and 4,090 are in Mary Kay. So like these little like, please buy mascara never work for me because they're already in Mary Kay. As a matter of fact, Brad is probably not going to be able to go on the cruise. So I'm trying to think of someone I can invite to go to the cruise with me, and all my friends are in Mary Kay because that's the best girlfriend you will ever have. So you guys take some of the things that she said and let's go after it this week. And you know what? I wanted to give you an example. I was at a party for one of my new consultants yesterday, Mandy Curtis. And when you're at your parties, I want you just to look around and really take what Mary Kay said, Mary Kay Ash, that there's one new beauty consultant at every party. And I want you to look and think, who is she? Like she's undercover, like an undercover shopper in Target. You know how they pay people to be like undercover shoppers. Like there's an undercover Mary Kay consultant at every party. Can you figure out which one she is? And then after the party, this is what we did. I just went over to her and well, first of all, I said, Mandy, I said, that girl needs to be on your team. I said, she's sharp. She came in from Atlanta and she loved she just had it. She had the it, you know? So afterwards, I went over there. I said, you need to be on our team. I said, I know you're going back to Atlanta and she's in her last year of school. She works another job and she's doing something else. I said, perfect. I said, that's what I'm looking for. Busy people. And I said, you do great at this. You know, I didn't say, oh, wow, okay. You know, because like Allison said, Mary Kay designed a consultant this for people that work. We all worked until we became directors. I mean, I know I did every single solitary day. But then I offered it to her. I got her name and number. I sent her the marketing video, and I'm following up with her. And so don't wait around to do it. When you see a sharp girl that needs to be on your team, you know because you see her and how she acts. You're like, I can see that girl on my team. Go over there and tell her. Because you know what? At the worst, she will be so complimented. At the worst, that's the worst thing that could happen is that she'll like you, she'll be complimented, and you'll have a good friend. If someone came out to me and said, oh my gosh, you need to be a realtor with me, you could kill it. I'm not going to be a realtor, but you know what? Man, I like her. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? So don't be afraid to reach out to those sharp people. And just, Allison, thank you so much. And it really, the funniest thing to me that everything you say is funny to me because that's why we're besties. But it's about not following the girl with the house shoes on, you know, walking around. And that's the one you're going to go talk to? That's the one you're going to bring to the meeting? No. Have someone that has their head up and that they're looking around. And they're going somewhere. So thank you for all the tips. I know they're great. I know all the directors would like to probably just say a word or two to you. So I'm just going to unmute them one at a time. Some of them are called in, some of them are boxed in. So Sayla, I'll grab you first because I see you here at the top.
Hey, Allison, thank you so much. One of the most powerful things you said is that we have 80 plus hours a week that we are not using. And I know that I have a lot of time. I'm thinking about Mary Kay, and I should be doing more. So thank you. What an inspirational call.
I love it. And that is so true. Okay, let's see. Hang on. Let me just go down to the ones I can see for sure. Jana, let's do you next.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can.
Woohoo! Awesome. Well, Allison, all of it was fantastic. I took lots of notes as well. When you were talking about the CAR program it was designed with a working woman in mind. You know, sometimes I think that I've never heard anyone say it like that. And so that was really powerful for me mentally. And then also just, the full-time working moms can be successful at this business. And just there's so much that you said that I love how straight you are. And so, sometimes I think that people are trying to save the world. And so thank you for really being very direct and telling us and tell everyone, look, pay attention, open your eyes. This is what we need to be looking for, is sharp and attracting. What are we attracting? Because that's totally true. Are we going out in our slippers? Are we going out in our pajamas? Or are we going out, and how are we walking? And who are we looking for? How are they walking? Love that. Love that. Thank you so much.
I love you, Jana.
She brought the heat tonight, Jana.
Bam.
Hey, brought it. Okay, let's see, Miss Valerie.
Yes. Well, Allison, that was great. I love Tammy. I've been trained by her several times, and I love her. She breaks it down really simple. 36 parties away from the cruise. How much more simple can you get it? Because the consultants and people just in general overthink how much it's going to take to get there. And it just makes them really overwhelmed with everything. And when you break it down into parties and faces and how many career interviews, career chats you need to do and how many are going to sign, it's pretty simple. So everything was great. I took a bunch of notes, and we're going to be going over this conversation tomorrow night at our Monday Night Live. So, yeah, my girls better take a lot of notes.
Awesome.
I want to say something really quick on that while you were talking. It reminded me that the key about recruiting this month is that your recruit gets 3 certificates to give away. So there are your red jackets right there for your cruise team. I mean, you've got to recruit now though, so that they can have time. Go get you focus on your 6, but all 6 of those people have the opportunity to give starter kits away for $75. So who's not going to say yes for the $75 starter kit? So your 3 reds, because when I talk to people, they're like, I just don't know how I'm going to get my red jackets. I just don't know how I'm going to get my red jackets. And I'm like, girl, get your 6, because the company is giving you a bone here. I mean, like, hello, they're giving the starter kits for $75. Last time we had a $75 starter kit, I think we recruited 80 people in our unit or something really crazy, or that was a $50 starter kit. I just remember it was like a huge number of recruiting. And so don't worry about how you're going to get into red. Those people have 3 certificates to give away. How exciting. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is the month to really get yourself positioned well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
Right.
Okay, Loree.
Hey, I just want to say that Allison is always just such a powerhouse, and you just, when you talked about, excuse me, we're human magnets, and we attract the people that we're like. I just want to challenge you to find some Allisons in your life, and those people that make you stronger, that are energy givers, because that's the one thing that has always impressed me about Allison is she is one of those people that gives energy everywhere she goes. And if you don't have any people in your life like that, then you need to become that person so that then you'll attract that to others. So I just want to say thank you for being that example, and for, all the training was wonderful, and just appreciate you giving out and helping us be better as well.
Oh, you're welcome.
Good. Okay, Stephanie.
Hey everybody. Hi Allison. So 2 of my 5 pages of notes is that we also need to stop selling ourselves that we are too busy for Mary Kay, and that the value of our position in being in Mary Kay is not less than. And I personally had that for like the first 2 years of my business, going from a Clinique account coordinator. I was like, ugh. But no, that's crazy. I was working for 3%, not 50. So we all definitely need to know that what we have is very special. Thank you.
I love it. Okay, Rosemary.
Allison, you totally got me fired up. I came into this call kind of just sitting here, and I've been sick a lot the last week or 2. And So anyway, I just want to thank you because this call really, really got me fired up. And I know that I have a couple consultants on here, one who is brand new, and I know Leslie's on this call, and I know she's going to be super fired up about this call. She's a real numbers person. And so some of those, you know, the statistics you gave about the, you know, how many calls and all that, I know that she's going to really be capitalizing on that. I also liked when you talked about not, actually, I have a couple things down where I've said re-listen to part of. So a whole bunch of places I've written in my notes to re-listen to certain parts, but one of them was to re-listen to the part about not listening to lies about yourself. And that's something that I know I need to do, and I need to be better at coaching my consultants to do also. And just to make the decision that you're getting into red. And also the fact that you not being in red maybe, well, is preventing somebody else from doing what they want to do. And just remember that all of us, we're all in this together, and what we do affects more than just one person, not just ourselves. So thank you, and you were marvelous.
I love you, Rosie.
She's the best. Okay, you guys. Well, listen, you guys are full. You got a lot of information. You got the challenge. 100 ask. Ask 100 people. Not send a text blast up to 100, but personally talk to them. Have a conversation. And that's where you talk back and forth. Not just, it's not a broadcast. It's a one-on-one. And you might think, that's a lot. Just break it down this week. You know, you got 7 whole days. That's just a little over 10 a day to talk to. And, you know, when you do stuff like that, that's crazy, like ask 100 people in 1 week, you're so proud of yourself. And B, you got something to talk about. Like, you know, it's funny, Lorena and I were talking about it. She goes, I'm glad I got something to talk about, because she's been doing a lot, recruiting a lot. And, you know, it's just fun when you're working because you got something to talk about. And sometimes you just need to, like, do something crazy, like ask 100 people. So thank you for that challenge, Allison. I knew you're going to bring the heat tonight. You're amazing. I love you so much. You're the diva. I'm the cheetah. And we're both going to win the cruise, and we need a recruit. So have a great evening, and I am going to go stop this recording.